Hello everyone, welcome back to part 2 of this Managersim series. And sorry, I just had to check my settings there that everything was alright. This is about an hour since the episode 1, and we timed that really well because this is the the game actually ticked. Now, I looked back at the first episode and I noticed that the webcam screen was actually blocking the game worlds. So I moved my webcam further up the screen, so hopefully you can actually see the 3 game worlds I was on about. There you go, they're the 3 game worlds, and of course we're in the Italian game world. So I then need to quickly go back to my OBS studio, so you'll see some funny fizzy screens for about 5 seconds because I need to now move my webcam back down to where it was before. There you go, there's my software, and there we go, back in the game. So if you can remember from the last episode, we were just about to select the club where we're going to become manager, and that's going to be Elfsborg. So we were in the Italian game world, so the tickets now happen. And there you go. Lord Donut is famous. He is now the manager of Elfsborg. We are in the Swedish league. The stadium's 29,675, which is a good starting stadium. Club capital, we got 85 million in the bank, which is very nice, which will help us a big deal when we start. The general opinion is that you're the best manager in the world. Thank you very much. I always thought I was. No, it always starts off like that. They're very pleased with our current position. They're generally satisfied with the economy. This is the board opinion, by the way. This is the one you really need to look at. When you go down, if you're not doing so well and the board opinion, general opinion gets worse and worse and worse, keep an eye on that, alright? Because when they say you're on your last chance, you're going to get fired, I'm afraid. No matter, unless you do a miracle, even if you start winning games, you're going to get fired, I think. But anyway, the economy is generally satisfied. Wages, we can spend much more, which means I think the total wages for the club might be quite low. Goals this season, avoid relegation. It's a level 1 side. So where are they in the league? They are 11th, yeah. They are 2 points clear of relegation. 14 games gone this season. They've won 4, drawn 3, lost 7. They've only scored 5 goals. They conceded 12. And there is 26 games in this season, so they're over halfway. As you can see in the Swedish league here, that there's actually 2 Intertoto spaces on offer. Whoever finishes that position, 2 UEFA Cups and 2 Champions League. This is really good. This league, for instance, has only got 14 sides, so if you finish in the top 6, you're in Europe next season. No, that's unlikely going to happen this season, though. It might if we get some good loan players in or buy some bargains. We have got a lot of money. But as you can see now, the big difference in the game from the last one is that there's more icons upon here. One thing I'm going to do is, when I was recording this, it's the 29th of June. It's one of the warmest days of the year here in the UK. I think Europe had it much warmer than us, but we've had it in the mid-30s. I'm going to actually stick my fan on behind me, so there will be a little bit of background noise. Hopefully it's not too bad, and you can still hear me pretty well. But keep my fluids up as well. But as you can see here, there's plenty more icons now, and we'll go through them all. A lot of them are self-explanatory. So the top one is squad. This is to do in your tactics screen. So there's squad, tactics and strategy. We'll go more about tactics later. So tactics, you can see your tactics. Strategy, you can see your strategy there. Yeah, there must have been a manager here before, because there's a lot of pre-planned strategy already. Coaches and physios at your side. This side currently has got 3 coaches. One guy who's very good at let's see if I can make the screen a bit bigger for you guys. One guy who's very good at offensive skills, one guy who's very good at defending skills, and a very good fitness, endurance and keeper skills. So this is a good set of coaches actually, so I don't think I need to get any new ones unless they're approaching retirement age. This guy's 50. 50 again. 57. Yeah, I think we can keep them for a few more years. They sometimes retire 60 plus, I think. Physios, we've got 2 physios. I normally am happy with 3. 2 will be okay, I guess, in this league. Scouts, I don't normally use scouts too much. They've actually got quite a few scouts here. I might actually get rid of some of these to reduce the bill. So this guy's at 59 ability, 92 judgment. This guy's 92 judgment, 74 interrogation, sorry. This guy's 90, 79. And this guy's 75, 90. They're all around the same, but this is the important bit, the weekly wage. This guy's 1,200 a week. This guy's 1,100 a week. One thing you might notice when I'm going through the screens is that the screen might offer a little bit of flash. That's because it's getting quite dark here now. It's getting quite nighttime, so you will see screen flashes. If they are too bad, then just let me know, and then I'll put the big light on instead. Anyway, back to this guy. 46. Oh, very low wage. He stays. Rasmus, he stays. Okay, so it's up to these 2 who I'm going to get rid of, and because this guy is 12 years older, I'm going to fire him. Sorry. And I'll fire him instead. I've got a lot of money anyway, so that wasn't too bad. I'm actually going to put that light on now. Now, hopefully that will stop the flashing screen which appears during night time. Let's have a look on the OBS. So I'm going to quickly go to the OBS again. Oh yeah, I'm quite light now. Alright, so hopefully that will help that problem. So, yeah, just checking the lights. So, coaching physios, I've sacked 1 physio. I might get 1 coach. I might get another coach in, scouts. I'm on scouts, aren't I? I might stick with just 3 scouts. Now, for each scout, I'm going to scout for 3 players. He's going to Liechtenstein. No offense to anyone in Liechtenstein, but that's not a good country to scout 3 players. Go to Central Europe. And yeah, you have to select a player first before you can do 3 players. So I'm just going to do a random player here, just to apply. Then at next tick, I can go back into scouts and change it to 3 players. The next tick is actually going to be some like 5 in the morning UK time, so won't obviously see that tick when I come back. I might actually involve missing 2 ticks because the next one after that is about 11. No, it might be alright, 11 o'clock in the morning, unless I have a lie-in. Sunday tomorrow. This guy here, British Isles, yeah, stay there. Scout for 3 players, so he doesn't need to move. Sweden, that's local actually, because we're in Sweden. It might be a good idea to check for 3 players in Sweden. And this guy's British Isles again. No, he'll be moving because we already got British Isles and Southern Europe. So see if we can find any players there. But he has to go to Southern Europe before we can select 3 players. Okay, Youth Academy. Now, it's up to you if you want a Youth Academy, and Youth Academy is always going to be random what type of players you get. Yeah, some people say the higher club you are, the better youth players you might get. That is true. But you also get some decent players at smaller clubs, and then those decent players can go into your first team, or you could sell them and make a profit, just like other management games. I want a decent youth side because from the last tick we saw a couple of decent youth players already in that team who became first team regulars. So I got a feeling they have got a decent youth academy. So, but they've only got 1 player at the moment, so I need to put some money in there. 50,000 should be enough because we are pretty rich. So the youth academy should then go boost up, and that expenditure will appear in the economy screen. Here it is, and as you can see, this club is very healthy in finance wise and team wages. All these dates are green. Green means you've made profit during that week, and some of these are even during pre-season, which you normally don't play many games, and some weeks you're away games which you don't make much money. So ticket sales. So that this is actually in December. Oh, this is a good time to start. We're actually in the winter break in December at the moment, so there's been no league games for a couple of ticks. So, but during November there were league games. So 178,000. So we were making about 260 grand a week during league games. The wage bill, that's the wage bill, is only 51,000. You'll see players in bigger clubs double, triple those wages. Just one player. That's a whole team on 51k. We'll go for the team wages very soon. Yeah, so generally pretty decent. This is an away game. You know that because no money was made for ticket sales. Good sponsorship. Okay, merchandise. It's only a level 1 side, remember. The higher the level you are, the more merchandise and sponsorship you will get. And they already made 132 grand on that away day. They actually made money. But that's going to stop now because the youth academy 50 grand goes in here. So next tick, you'll see the next tick for the next week, that is, you'll see 50,000. And so even with 50,000 in there at the moment, they'll still make money. So there's the comedy screen anyway. Stadium now. Oh God. At the moment, they don't see the fan base popularity to increase the stadium, so we don't need to explain that in a moment. I'm going to increase the ticket prices because that's probably why the ticket sales is only 178,000. I'm going to tick it up, not by much because the side are struggling, so the gates, they won't have many people come in at the moment. So 15 for League Cup games, international games. Well, they're not going to play an international game this season, but international games normally have the capacity of the stadium. Everyone goes and watches it, so try to make it go up quite a bit, but not too high because less people will join. So let's go 30 and then click apply. That's the stadium then. You can change this throughout the whole season as many times you want. Now the next three tabs, icons, sorry, are all to do with the transfer market, which is actually here. So they're linked to this button here. So you can either click here for them or click there. So the first one is selling. This is where you're getting any bids for any players you put on the transfer list. Buying is the opposite, obviously, if you're trying to buy a player on the transfer list. Contracts, this is for free transfers and also for youth academy players. If you're signing a full-time contract, you need to discuss with them. And lastly, staff. This is where you sign a staff contract if you want to get a staff player. So again, you can click here. Sorry, here. Right area first. Or you can click up here, this icon here. I'll explain these more again in a minute. Transfer list. Now, every country that's involved on the world map has their own transfer list, and it normally follows these areas here. The first one you'll see is the top division transfer list, and in this game world, remember, all the countries except Italy just have one division. So if we went into the transfer list of Italy, all the divisions would be here because each division has its own transfer list. It's rated from the highest transfer list player. It doesn't always mean they're the best though. It's a manager probably wants to get rid of them, so he might put a lot of money because someone might actually bid for it, or a computer side might bid for it. So you've got a 2.5 million bid for this loan. Oh, it's a loan list player. So loan list and transfer list players are on the same list. So make sure you look at this if he's going to be. This is for loan or transfer. So already we've got an attacker here of 90, Ronenberg, for 2.1 million, selling for 2.1 million. He's a Swedish player. Oh yes, Leon are going for him. Are they? They're a human managed side. Oh, interesting. So Leon are after this player. We can make a bid if we want to. Now, if you are a donator to the game, if you donated on Kickstarter or Patreon, if you want to do that, or contact Berhan, I will get it right, and start donating money towards the game, to help the game server that he's running, you get Patreon points, as I call it, which are these here. These can be used to give you reports of transfer listed players or sides, and so if you want to know if this is a really good player, he's got some decent stats, then you click assistant report, and that will appear in your mailbox, and it will come in here, and the coach will then give you a report how good he thinks the player is. You can report on your own players if you want to. So what I'm going to do, oh, look at this. Oh God. This means I kind of knew this was going to happen, because I did ask Byrne to put all the players on a short-term contract, so he knew I was going to make changes. This means all these players' contracts are due in the next 3 months. If I don't have a contract with these players, they will leave, or I can sell them. So this is ideal. I can discuss how we do contracts because of this. But yeah, that was a bit of a surprise, that. So what I was going to do was, if I go back, I'll select my great goalie and assistant report. When you got your own players in your own side and click assistant report, it's free. You don't use any of your points up there. Okay, so let's click on assistant report, and let's say what does the team has welcomed me to the club. Thank you very much. Training session, yes, I know. Friendly request has been asked and then withdrawn. Okay, that didn't take long. Okay, so what did my coach say about his player? He's rated 9.1 out of 10. Anything above 9 is good, very good. But look at the bottom screen, the bottom bit of the report. If he says this player could win titles, or this player has got big potential, stuff like that, then keep them. Even if the rating's a bit lower than 9.1, even if it's an 8.7 or an 8.8 and it's got win titles down there, keep that player because he is a really good player. This guy is good. He's a 9.1, so I will keep him for quite a while. But if I buy someone or free transfer someone coming into the club and they're worth more than 9.1, then he might be eventually listed. But he's only 19, so I'll probably keep him for a bit longer anyway. But when you get your youth players coming in and you're a bit unsure if they're going to be good or not, always click on the assistant report, which will be here again in a minute, here, to see if they're good enough. We've only got one youth player at the moment, and their stats are not very good. My general rule is if they're 16, 17 years old and their main stat for their position is above 65, then do an assistant report and see what he or she rates the player. Again, if the player is above 8.5 to 9, then, well, let's start off. If it's 8.5 or below, do not sign a contract with that player unless you really want to get some money quickly. Then you can promote the player into your first team, then sell him. But anything below 8.5, I generally don't offer them a contract. Definitely if they're below 8. If they are below 8, then definitely don't offer them a contract because they're crap, to put it blunt. Anything between 8.5 and 8.9 rating, then it's up to you if you want to keep them. Anything above 8.9 to 10, the magical 10, then you've got a wonder kid and he will stay at your club as long as possible, unless another club puts in a big club offer on the contract or something. I can't do it at the moment because there's only 2 players. We will put contracts, ask for contracts for some of these players. I can show you that we will decide tonight, which players we're going to keep and which players we're not going to keep. But anyway, I'm still going to go through these icons first. So we've done that. Club info is the first screen you'll see every time you join the club. So basically that gives you also quick links to the fixtures list, players again, which is the squad screen, info, which is this screen, staffs, the stats, which I'll tell you in a minute, history, which I'll tell you in a minute, and press, which I'll tell you sometime soon. So the info screen's got your name, your level requirement of the club is 1, decent youth academy. The more you invest in your youth academy, the more it could actually get higher. But the game normally rates the top 20 youth academies. We're nowhere near it because they wouldn't rate there, but that might go up. We'll keep looking at that. And then the board, this is very important. I've talked to you about the board already, but always look at general opinion. If it starts to get quite bad, then start changing things at the club if you can. So far so good. And then important team events, what's happened, their previous leagues, they finished 12th, or they finished no higher than 9th since the game. So this game started in 2002 and we're in 2007, so it's only 5 seasons old, which is pretty new. Like mine, Game World 1, we're 33 seasons old. So does that mean then, because in the original 2002 game we still had some original real life players in the game. So I'm going to just try and quickly, let's go into England, Liverpool, I love Liverpool, Human Manager. Is there some real life players still in the side? I think that's Scott Gemmell, that's Danny Murphy, yeah, some of these are real life players. Danny Murphy's, well, all retired now of course, but Danny Murphy was a Liverpool player. Ray Parlour, he's Arsenal, yeah, he was bought from Arsenal, it's 32, oh my god, yeah, 158. Crikey. He might do well for us actually, but he's 32. Dodgy. I don't really recognise any other names actually, real life player names. Let's try, slightly off topic here, but it's fun looking at alternative universe players. Man United. Wes Brown. Yeah, he's still in the, he's retired now. Phil Neville, the England Ladies World Cup soccer manager at the moment. During the time we're doing this, the World Cup for the Women's World Cup is happening in France, and England have just got to the semis. Phil Neville, England manager. Oh dear, he's not a very good player though. Just above 70 and he's 26, and he's not a very good player. Sorry, Phil. Dennis, what is Jorgen? Is that Jordi Cruyff? My God, yes. Yeah, because this goes back to 2002, he wasn't a known product. He was actually at, I think, Barcelona before. He's not very good either. Oh dear. Andy Cole, 80, reasonable. Man United side are not that good really, aren't they? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the Man United manager, of course. Oh yeah, he's much better. He's 91. Again, any stat of the main positions above 90 are pretty decent, but make sure you look at the secondary stats. For striker, speed is very important, and control. Sometimes aggression and flair, that more midfield skills. Speed is also good for a defender as well, means they can catch up to the striker. Yeah, anyway, let's go back to my side because we were off the ball there. Player statistics, this is a good little screen to show you who's been regulars in the side, how many assists, man in the matches. So yeah, so there's games, goals, assists, man in matches, disciplinary points like yellow cards and red cards, and aggregate rating. Here I think it's international caps. Yes, they're all. So we all got all Swedish players except for one player in our team, who is, where's he from? Kazakhstan. Ooh, yeah, he's all right, I suppose. And here is total games and goals. I don't really pay much attention to this screen here because I don't think it's fully right at the moment. Again, remember this game is in beta. So, but it's good to have internationals if you can on your side because they generally are pretty decent, but you do get some crap internationals as well, like always. But anyway, back to player contracts. Remember the player contracts is only 51k from the economy screen. So highest, yeah, they're all very low. I will be getting rid of a lot of them. Oh god, they're all on 2-month contracts. Again, for this beginner series purpose, I asked Berhan if I can have all players on short contracts so I can get rid of some of them quite quickly, so I can show you the guides about buying players and selling players and free transferring pretty quickly, because normally it would take a lot longer. So you won't get all the players on 2 months. When you join a club, they'll be varied. They could be 10 months, they could be 1 month, they could be 6 months. It will vary. So our highest paid player is that Kazakhstan striker. He's rated at 1.5 million. His wage is 8k. This means basically in 442 days, game days, another club could come and place a bid on him, but you can refuse it unless the big contract clause was big club. Okay, This caused a lot of controversy when it first came out in the old Managersim Soccer Sim days, but it is true to real life basically. Bigger clubs might come and nick your Wonder Kids if the contract clause there is the big club contract. So let's just say this guy had a big club contract. If a club maybe level 4 to level 8, because this club is level 1, remember, put in a bid, normally double or even treble that value, he might want to go and join them. And so what you have to do, if he refuses to stay with you, he said no, I want to go and join them, you then automatically transfer list him, and then the club that bids then will have to go through the transfer list process, which then also kind of opens it up to any other club that might want to bid for him. So yeah, it's a kind of own goal in some ways, but this guy hasn't got this clause. The other clause that might be in here, by the way, is relegation release, so you've got to really pay attention to that when you're a level 1 side. So let's just say my club were finished in the bottom 2 by the end of the season. Any player I've got on relegation release clause, I will lose no matter how many months they sign for us. They'll just go because they've met that clause, and so they're leaving. So try to avoid actually putting that clause in the contract. So there's player contracts, player miscellaneous. It's just miscellaneous. So generally their form, their morale, and their status. So I have got an unhappy player there. So Solmonson. Oh, well, I'm probably going to free transfer him tonight, actually. I'll do that right now. He's got no future. He's 35. His tackling stat is pathetic, basically. I think he was a former player. He's probably been here since day one. Yeah, he was a regular. If the game went even longer, then he would have been here for quite a long time. He's unhappy, so I don't want him to stay at his club. I'm going to say goodbye. So free transfer. When you start off at a new club, you only be allowed to do 1 player. When you become more longer at the club, you're allowed to do 2 players per tick if you want to free transfer them. But watch out how much the compensation clause is. It's only £2,000. He's got 2 months, £2,000. So yeah, it's easy. So player release. There you go. He's gone. Well, he's going. And the last one here is player cards. So the next league game, this player can't play because he's red carded. If this guy gets booked in the next match, he's going to get red carded. And in the cup, yeah. Again, it's got a little short link to the appearances and stuff. Okay, last set of icons here. Division table. Obviously, it's your league table, which is basically that bottom there and that one there are exactly the same. It's your fixtures. What fixtures come up? We're in the mid-season break at the moment, so there's no actual league games for us for quite a while. Actually, there's no friendly games for us. Now, if I go to the fixture list here. Oh, sorry, yeah, I missed these screens, didn't I? We'll go back to them, actually, after we've done these ones. Newspaper. Each country has its own newspaper. Just to give you some headlines. It's a fun little edition, doesn't really do much, I'm afraid. But there you go. I'm famous. Elfsborg's got a new manager. Hello. International cups. This is where all the cups are. All the information is stored. So here we've got the Champions League, which is currently in the later stages, round 2. Obviously we're not in it. We won't be in Europe for quite a while yet. But Champions League starts off qualifying period 1. So you've got Champions League, UEFA Cup, Toto, and European Championships, which is just obviously country only. Now at the moment, no human manager can be a country manager, so this is a bit pointless. But it's a good way to check on some sides, like England for instance. And this is another tip, click miscellaneous and see if any of them are looking for a club. Well, it's England, definitely not. But you could choose another country and it might happen. Let's choose a smaller country. One of these sides that you can't manage, like Czech Republic. You can't manage any of these sides. National, players, miscellaneous. Nope, they're all managed. They're all But sometimes you might see the odd player which has got nothing here, which means they're a free transfer, which you can go and then manage that club if you want to. Manage that player, sorry. And the last one's the stat computer. This goes back to your good old 8-bit days. Again, I don't really use this, but you can have a little look. Look, it's a good place to see where the club finished in previous years. So we might do that actually. Sweden. So this is last season. Yes, 26 games. So they finished 12th last season. Let's go back a season. They then finished 10th. They finished 9th one year, didn't they? Oh, crikey. They finished bottom. Oh, 1 win in 26. That's not good. Year before that, near the start of the season, that's it. That's their 9th. So they went 9th, and then the next season they were bottom. Oh, dear. And then the first season, they finished 10th. So, yeah. It's worth looking at nation points, by the way. Sweden are second. They're one of the top seeds. That's very surprising. That's probably why we've got so many European spaces up for grabs. So yeah, but if you go to someone like Azerbaijan, to find them on the map, there you are, right over there. They've only got free spaces for European Cups. Well, but we might lose this. It depends how well these sides are doing in Europe at the moment. How well are you doing, Gothenburg? Oh, sorry. You didn't win the championship last year. Who won it last year? No, it wasn't you. It wasn't you. I'm looking at this, see if they finished anything higher than second or first. Malmo, were you the league champions? No, you finished third, Dave. Dave, I'm disappointed. You finished third? Who were the league champions last year? Okay, this is when the stat computer gets useful. So, countries, Sweden. Ah, okay, you were the league champions. Right, okay, so how well did you do? You're having a really bad season, though, aren't you? How well did you do in Europe this year? Oh, okay, you were awful. You got beaten 2-0 and then you drew 0-0 against the Irish Crusaders. Oh dear. You then went to UEFA Cup and you're still in UEFA Cup. Oh, okay, good, well done. So you might get some points from there. Okay, back to the stats that these icons that I've forgotten. Club stats. Again, it's not a screen that I normally look at, but it's nice to look at if you wanted to look at it. Club staff. That's a quick overview of the staff at my club. Club history. What happened to the club before I joined, and to be honest, they haven't done much. They've got knocked out of the quarterfinals of the cup. This is their FA Cup. Nearly all the time, yeah. They haven't really done well at all, have they? Fixtures planned is very useful. Fixtures planned is all the fixtures coming up. So as you can see, we just had a friendly against Kaiserslautern and we beat them 3-0. That's the computer managed that, so you probably put the full team in, which is fine because we got no. They won't get too tired because the next match is not until 27th. Basically, the icons are blue is the replay. Oh, sorry, it's the stat computer. You can see I don't use it much. This icon here is for your this is where you can put all your squad, if you give it a squad name, your tactics name, your strategy name, and you can then put it for all remaining games. This is good for planning in advance your games, your squad, who you're going to be playing in your first team. So for instance, if I'm going to do it tonight, if I get called away tomorrow and I miss a couple of ticks, I might miss, in the future, I might miss some league games. So if I put the tactic engine in here, then the computer will do its best to find that those players are selected for that side. If not, it will select the next best player. Because during those ticks that I might have missed, the player might get injured or something else might happen. So yeah, that's fixtures planned, and up here, 2 buttons again. Here or here is the friendlies, and there's some sides who want a friendly. This probably by a human manager.
Okay, no, it's not. Okay, so I'll say yes though. Oh, this is during the season though, so you can have friendlies during the season. Normally, how a week plans out is on the game Saturday is the league game. On the Tuesday, it's your local cup game, and then on the Thursday, if you're in Europe, it's your European game. Obviously, if you get knocked out early in your cup game or your European game, you don't play those days. So you have, as here, you have a week until your league game. But these guys were knocked out. Oh, they were knocked out on their away goals rule in the cup. Oh, that's unfortunate. So I'll show you what a match report looks like. So for instance, let's say today was a Saturday. It's Thursday. It's you can't really do that at the moment because it's actually in December. But let's just say today was a Saturday, and then you've done your squad, you selected the formation, and then you wait until the next tick. The next tick comes, and then you'll get the match report coming up. Sorry, there's no FIFA match graphics here. You don't see players running around the pitch scoring goals. This is the browser game, remember. You see the match report. The match report will normally come up here. So it will come in your mailbox, but it's also available here. Let's go back to a previous league game and I'll show you what a match report looks like. Let's look back at our win. Have we actually won a game? Lost? Drew? Oh, we won 1-0 there. Against the league champions. Was that the league champions? No, not the league champions. But still, we won 1-0 away. That's good. Oh, sorry, on screen. There you go. So, here is the match report. As you can see, that's their formation, what ball possession, shots attempt, it's all self-explanatory. There's my side, well, the computer version of my side. Oribro, 9 shots, 4 shots. We played a 4-3-3. Okay, I don't usually use 4-3-3, but we won. Karlstrom won, who looks like he's a midfielder. So it's 4-3-3, so it's 4 defenders, 3 midfielders, 3 attackers. Goalie, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Then these are the midfielders. Karlstrom, yeah, he was midfield centre, looks like it. And then the attackers. So the match ratings, obviously, anything from 5 is okay. Anything below 5 is crap. 6, 7 is average, not bad. 8, 9, 10 is very good. You will see some 10s. Quite a few times you might see a goalie with a 10. That will only happen if the sides had, say, 20 shots on goal and you've only had 1, and your goalies, and the final result was 0-0 or something because the goalie's had a blinder, so he's a 10. But you'll have your strikers sometimes with 10s, and again 8s or 9s are good. So goalies had a really prime example here. We've 9 shots to 4, but our goalie, who's actually a very good goalie, is that youngster, he had an 8. One of our defenders had a good game, and then some good averages, and one guy didn't do very well. Now, as you notice, one of these players is bolded. That means they won the man of the match, and it was actually the home side player. Wonder why he won the man of the match. Their strikers had a good game, but they didn't score a goal. Here you can read some of the text. It's just general text, and it will describe the goal. So let's see, our goal was in the 38th minute. So 38th minute, which is be here then. Tries to tackle blah blah, takes a free quick with pass to blah blah blah, blah blah gets the ball from blah blah with a clean tackle, tries to fall Karlstrom, but Karlstrom times his tackle perfectly, then he goes to left and shoots a low ball and it's a goal. That's all you get really. These are your subs. We use no subs, that will change. Well, Oribro, that's a midfielder. So they put a new guy in on the 60th minute to replace this guy, his 5, and he got an 8. Yeah, so that was a wise move. He did much better. So yeah, match reports will only happen when you play a game. This is for friendlies, league games, cup games, friendly, international games. All right. Right. Let's start the dirt on our players. Who are we going to offer contracts to, and who aren't we? Now I'm trying to this is what I thought might happen. I've had internet problems tonight, and my internet has just gone down again, as you can see. So
that means I will stop this recording for a little while until my internet comes back. It's been very temperamental because it's been very hot today. So I will come back when my internet's back.